Dr. Du-Young Kim pressed her face against the thick glass window of the deep-sea research vessel Nautilus. The dark waters of the Mariana Trench stretched endlessly before her. At a depth of 11,000 meters, the pressure outside could crush a car like a tin can. But inside the vessel, she felt safe and excited. "Dr. Kim, you need to see this," called Dr. Han-Sol Park from the control room. His voice carried a mix of wonder and confusion that made Du-Young hurry to his station. The main screen showed images from their remote submarine. Strange, glowing colonies of bacteria covered the rocks near a thermal vent. The bacteria formed perfect circles and squares, patterns that seemed too organized to be natural. "I've never seen anything like this," Du-Young said, adjusting her glasses. She had studied deep-sea bacteria for 15 years. But these were different. "Can we get a sample?" Han-Sol nodded and guided the remote submarine's mechanical arm. The arm moved slowly through the dark water, carrying a collection tube. When it touched the glowing bacteria, something unexpected happened. The bacterial colonies changed color, shifting from blue to green, then to purple. "They're responding to contact," Du-Young said, her eyes wide. "Quick, check the energy readings." Han-Sol's fingers flew across the keyboard. Numbers and graphs appeared on a second screen. Both scientists stared at the results in silence. "This can't be right," Han-Sol whispered. "According to these readings, they're processing energy more efficiently than any known life form. They're breaking all the rules we know about biology." Du-Young grabbed her tablet and started taking notes. "We need to collect multiple samples. This could change everything we know about life on Earth." The next few hours passed in a blur of activity. They collected samples from different colonies, took hundreds of pictures, and recorded all the data they could. The bacteria continued to change colors and patterns, almost as if they were communicating. Back in the main lab of the Nautilus, Du-Young looked through the microscope at their samples. The bacteria's cell structure was unlike anything in their database. They had features that seemed impossible, like tiny structures that looked like miniature solar panels. "Dr. Kim," Han-Sol called from his computer station. His voice sounded strange. "I just compared our findings with some other research. You need to see this." Du-Young walked over. On his screen were two images side by side. One showed their bacterial patterns. The other showed markings found on recently discovered alien artifacts from Mars. "The patterns match," she said slowly, her heart beating faster. "They're exactly the same." Han-Sol nodded. "What if these bacteria aren't from Earth? What if they've been here all along, hiding in the deepest part of our ocean?" Before Du-Young could answer, the ship's communication system crackled to life. "Nautilus, this is surface control. We're picking up unusual signals from your location. Multiple unknown objects have entered Earth's atmosphere. They appear to be heading toward your position." Du-Young and Han-Sol looked at each other. Their discovery was about to become much bigger than they had imagined. "Should we surface?" Han-Sol asked, his hand hovering over the controls. Du-Young looked at their samples, then at the dark ocean outside. Something told her this was just the beginning of a much larger story. "No," she said firmly. "Whatever's coming, we need to understand what we found. The whole world might depend on it." As if responding to her words, the bacterial samples in the lab began to glow brighter, their patterns changing faster than ever. Deep in the Mariana Trench, humanity had stumbled upon something that would change their place in the universe forever. The tracking system beeped, showing multiple objects descending through the water toward their position. First contact was about to happen 11,000 meters under the sea, and humanity's representatives would be two scientists who had only wanted to study bacteria. Du-Young straightened her lab coat and took a deep breath. "Han-Sol, start recording everything. Whatever happens next, we need to document it. This is no longer just about science. This is about the future of our world." The alien vessels looked like giant silver teardrops in the dark water. They moved with impossible grace, creating no disturbance in the ocean around them. Ambassador Jai-Ho Lee watched them through the reinforced windows of the Nautilus, trying to keep his expression calm despite his racing heart. "They're requesting to dock with our vessel," Dr. Do-Yum Kim said, reading from the communication screen. The alien's message had appeared in perfect Korean, English, and 12 other Earth languages simultaneously. "Allow it," Jai-Ho said. He had been helicoptered to the Nautilus just 6 hours after Do-Young's discovery. As Earth's hastily appointed representative, he carried the weight of humanity's first impression on his shoulders. The largest alien vessel extended a transparent tube that connected smoothly with the Nautilus's emergency airlock. Dr. Han-Sol Park monitored the readings carefully. "The tube is pressurized. It's safe to open our side." Marine scientist Yoo-Jin Choi joined them at the airlock, carrying detailed reports about Earth's ocean ecosystems. Her expertise would be crucial in the coming discussion. The airlock hissed open. Through the transparent tube walked 3 beings that looked nothing like the aliens in movies. They were tall and elegant, with bodies that seemed to be made of flowing crystal. Their forms shifted colors like the bacterial colonies Do-Young had discovered. The tallest alien stepped forward and spoke. Its voice sounded like gentle waves on a beach. "We are the representatives of the Galactic Council. We come with urgency and hope." Jai-Ho bowed respectfully. "Earth welcomes you. I am Ambassador Lee, and these are our leading scientists." The alien's form rippled with blue light. "We have watched your world for many cycles, waiting for you to discover the Guardians." "The Guardians?" Do-Young asked. "Do you mean the bacterial colonies?" "Yes," the second alien said. "They are ancient beings, placed in Earth's oceans long ago. They hold the key to feeding trillions across the galaxy." Yoo-Jin stepped forward with her tablet. "Our oceans are complex ecosystems. These bacteria are part of a delicate balance." The alien's colors shifted to show respect. "This is why Earth is so valuable. Your people understand oceans in ways few species do. Many worlds have water, but none have developed such rich marine ecosystems." Han-Sol displayed the comparison between the bacterial patterns and the Mars artifacts. "Did you leave these messages for us to find?" "Yes," the third alien said. "We hoped the discovery of the artifacts would lead you to look deeper in your own waters, but we had to accelerate our plans." "Why?" Jai-Ho asked, noting the urgency in the alien's tone. The alien's colors darkened. "A crisis approaches. Many worlds face famine. Their food production systems are failing. Earth's deep-sea bacteria could save billions of lives." Do-Young looked concerned. "You want to take the bacteria?" "No," the first alien said quickly. "We need your help to understand them. Your world has maintained these creatures for millions of years. We need your knowledge, your expertise. Earth would become a vital member of the Galactic Council." Jai-Ho exchanged looks with his team. This was bigger than any of them had imagined. "We would need guarantees," he said carefully. "Assurances that Earth's ecosystems would be protected." The aliens' forms brightened. "Of course, we propose a partnership. Earth would lead research into marine cultivation while gaining access to galactic technology and knowledge." Yoo-Jin was already taking notes, her mind racing with possibilities. "We could learn so much from each other." "Time is short," the alien said. "Will Earth join us?" Jai-Ho looked at his team. Do-Young nodded firmly. Han-Sol gave a thumbs up. Yoo-Jin smiled with excitement. "Earth would be honored to join the Galactic Council," Jai-Ho said. "Let's work together to solve this crisis." As they began discussing details, none of them noticed that one of the bacterial samples in the lab had started forming new patterns. The Guardians were awakening, ready to help humanity take its place among the stars. 1 month after first contact, Dr. Song-Yi Kang stared at her computer screen in the new Galactic Research Center in Busan. The images from distant worlds showed dying crops and empty fields. The food blight was spreading faster than anyone had predicted. "The latest reports are worse than we thought," she said to Ambassador Jai-Ho Lee, who stood behind her chair. 3 more worlds have lost their main food sources. Jai-ho frowned at the numbers on the screen. How many people are affected now? Over 12 billion beings across 7 planets. Song-ye pulled up another screen showing a microscopic view of the blight. But I found something interesting. Look at this. She switched between 2 images, one of the alien blight and another of a deep-sea virus from Earth's oceans. The patterns were almost identical. They're related, Jai-ho asked, leaning closer to the screen. Yes, the blight looks like a mutated version of our deep-sea virus. But here's the strange part. Our virus doesn't harm anything. It lives in balance with the bacteria. The door opened, and Dr. Do-Yum Kim rushed in. Her lab coat was wrinkled from another long night of work. Song-ye, the latest samples arrived from the Proxima system. Song-ye quickly loaded the new data. 3-dimensional images appeared, showing food crops covered in glowing patches. The same patches they had seen on 6 other worlds. It's spreading through their transportation networks, Do-Young said, pointing to a map of trade routes. Every world that received food shipments from the Centauri farms is infected. Song-ye typed rapidly, comparing data sets. Wait, look at this. She brought up readings from their deep-sea stations. The bacterial colonies are changing their patterns. They're reacting to something. Could they be responding to the blight? Jai-ho asked. Before anyone could answer, their emergency communication system activated. A crystal alien appeared on the main screen, its colors dark with worry. Earth team, we have terrible news, the alien said. The blight has reached the main food production centers in the Vega system. We have less than 60 days before their food supplies run out. Jai-ho stepped forward. How many people live in the Vega system? 3 billion. The alien's form flickered with distress. We're evacuating who we can, but there isn't enough room on other worlds to take everyone. Song-ye suddenly sat up straight. Ambassador, I need permission to try something dangerous. What are you thinking? Do-Young asked. Our deep-sea virus and the blight are related. What if we could use our virus to fight the blight? Like a vaccine. Song-ye pulled up more data. The Guardians, the bacteria, might be trying to show us how. That could either save everyone or make things much worse, Jai-ho said carefully. We don't have much choice, Do-Young added. 3 billion people need help. Jai-ho looked at the screen showing the dying crops, then at the maps of spreading blight. Do it, but be careful. Earth's reputation in the galaxy depends on what happens next. Song-ye nodded and began working immediately. She sent messages to their deep-sea research stations, requesting more samples. On her screen, the bacterial colonies continued changing their patterns, as if they were trying to tell humanity something important. I need to go back to the Mariana Trench, she said firmly. Whatever answers we need, they're down there with the Guardians. Do-Young and Jai-ho looked at each other. They knew the risks of rushing the research, but billions of lives were at stake. Earth's deep oceans had already changed humanity's place in the galaxy. Now they might hold the key to saving it. Commander Ta Wu-Nam stood at the control center of the new deep-sea research station, Ocean Hope. Through the reinforced windows, he could see both human and alien submarines moving through the dark waters of the Mariana Trench. The station, built with advanced alien technology, hung suspended above the ocean floor like a giant silver starfish. Status report. He called out to his international team. The response came from Dr. Min Seobek, who was working at the main research terminal. The new cultivation chambers are ready, Min Seo said, checking the readings on her screen. The bacterial colonies are growing exactly as we hoped. Tae-woo walked over to examine the cultivation chambers. Inside each transparent tube, colonies of the guardian bacteria glowed with soft blue light. The chambers recreated the exact conditions of the deep-sea vents, allowing the bacteria to thrive. How soon can we test them against the blight? He asked. Min Seo pointed to some encouraging data. The first batch will be ready tomorrow. Our alien colleagues have prepared test sites on 3 affected worlds. The station's communication system activated, showing Dr. Song Yikang's face from the surface facility. Commander Nam, we've received new reports. 2 more worlds have reported crop failures. We need to work faster. Understood, Ta Wu replied. He turned to the alien scientist working nearby, whose crystalline form glowed with worried purple lights. How are the new delivery systems coming along? The alien gestured to a row of special containers. We can now transport the bacteria without losing their special properties. The containers maintain perfect deep-sea conditions. Min Seo suddenly called out in excitement. Everyone, look at this. She projected her screen onto the main display. The bacterial colonies in the cultivation chambers had started forming new patterns. They're reacting to something, she explained. These patterns, they're different from anything we've seen before. Ta Wu leaned closer to the display. Could they be trying to communicate again? Before anyone could answer, the station's sensors detected movement near the ocean floor. A huge group of the bacterial colonies had appeared, surrounding the station with swirling patterns of light. Record everything, Ta Wu ordered. The patterns seemed to pulse with purpose, like a message written in light. Min Seo worked quickly at her station. The bacteria in our cultivation chambers are copying these patterns. Wait. Her eyes widened. The energy readings are off the charts. They're doing something new. The alien scientist moved closer to the chambers, its crystalline form reflecting the bacterial light. In all our years of space travel, we never understood their true nature. Your oceans protected them, allowed them to evolve. Now they're showing us what they can really do. Inside the cultivation chambers, the bacteria began transforming. They were combining and changing in ways that defied normal biology. Min Seo's instruments could barely keep up with the changes. They're not just fighting the blight, she said in amazement. They're creating a whole new form of sustainable food production, something that could work on any world. Ta Wu immediately contacted the surface. Dr. Kang, you need to see this. The Guardians aren't just a cure, they're a complete solution. They're showing us how to build a new food chain that could feed the entire galaxy. As the team worked to document and understand these changes, the bacterial lights in the ocean seemed to dance with approval. Humanity had not just found a solution to the crisis, they had discovered a way to transform how life itself could be sustained across the stars. Send word to the Galactic Council, Ta Wu ordered. Tell them we're ready to begin the first full-scale test. Earth's oceans are about to change everything. Research Director Hai Jin Kwan sat alone in her office at Ocean Hope Station, reviewing security footage from the past week. Her eyes narrowed as she watched the recording for the 3rd time. The crystal aliens from the Centauri system were accessing restricted areas of the cultivation chambers during night shifts. She reached for the communication panel and contacted Security Chief Sung Min Cho. Chief Cho, I need you in my office immediately. Sung Min arrived within minutes, his usually calm face showing concern. Director Kwan, what have you found? Hai Jin played the footage again. Watch their data devices. They're not just taking readings, they're copying our entire research database. That goes against our agreement with the Galactic Council, Sung Min said, leaning closer to the screen. All research is supposed to be shared openly. There's more. Hai Jin switched to another recording. They've modified their transport containers. I think they're planning to steal some of the Guardian bacteria. Before Sung Min could respond, the station's alert system activated. Warning lights flashed red across the ceiling. Security breach in Cultivation Chamber 3, the computer announced. Unauthorized access detected. Sung Min immediately activated his communication device. All security teams to Chamber 3. Full lockdown protocol. Hai Jin pulled up the live camera feed. 3 Centauri aliens were inside the chamber, their crystal forms glowing with unusual patterns. They were removing bacterial samples and placing them in modified containers. Stop the lockdown. One of the aliens commanded through the station's system. We have authority from our government. They're lying, Hai Jin said firmly. The Galactic Council gave no such authority. Sung Min's security teams arrived at the chamber. The human guards surrounded the entrance while alien security officers from friendly worlds covered the emergency exits. Step away from the samples, some men ordered through the chamber's communication system. This is a direct violation of galactic law. Instead of complying, the Centauri aliens revealed hidden devices. Energy fields appeared around them, pushing back the security teams. "You don't understand," the lead Centauri alien said. "Our world is dying. We can't wait for your slow research. We need the bacteria now." Hai-Jin activated the emergency protocols she had prepared for just such a situation. Special panels in the chamber walls opened, releasing a carefully designed containment field. The guardian bacteria began glowing brighter, forming rapid patterns. "The bacteria are not yours to take," she said through the speaker. "They are part of Earth's ecosystem. They chose to help us all, not just one world." The Centauri aliens found themselves trapped. The bacteria in their stolen containers stopped glowing and became dormant. "How?" one of them asked in surprise. "The Guardians are intelligent," Hai-Jin explained. "They respond to cooperation and trust. They won't work for those who try to steal them." Security teams entered the chamber and took the Centauri aliens into custody. As they were led away, some men turned to Hai-Jin. "We need to contact the Galactic Council," he said. "Other worlds might try the same thing." Hai-Jin nodded, already drafting a message to Ambassador Jai-Ho Lee. "The Council needs to understand. Earth's oceans aren't just a resource. They're a living library of knowledge. The Guardians chose our world for a reason. We need to protect them while sharing their gifts properly." As if responding to her words, the guardian bacteria in the chamber formed new patterns. They created images of different worlds working together, sharing resources and knowledge. "They're showing us the way forward," Hai-Jin said softly. "We just need to make sure everyone follows it." Dr. Jin-Woo Park had not left his laboratory in the Ocean Hope Station for 3 days. Empty coffee cups littered his desk, but his eyes remained focused on the holographic display showing molecular structures. After the attempted theft by the Centauri aliens, the pressure to find a solution had increased tremendously. "Jin-Woo, you need to see this," Dr. Yun Jiayang called from her research station. She had been working on synthesizing the bacterial properties using a combination of Earth and alien technology. "The latest test results are different." Jin-Woo walked over, trying to hide his exhaustion. The screen showed a successful simulation of artificial bacteria exhibiting the same properties as the Guardians. Unlike their previous attempts, these synthetic versions remained stable. "How did you do it?" he asked, suddenly wide awake. "I was thinking about what Director Kwon said," Yunji explained. "The Guardians chose Earth for a reason. So I added elements from our ocean's natural environment to the synthesis process." Jin-Woo studied the data carefully. The mineral composition matches the deep-sea vents perfectly. "That's not all," Yunji said, bringing up another screen. "Watch what happens when I introduce the synthetic bacteria to different environments." The simulation showed the artificial bacteria adapting to various planetary conditions while maintaining their core properties. They could potentially grow on any world with basic mineral resources and water. "We did it," Jin-Woo whispered. "We can create these without harvesting the original Guardians." The station's communication system activated, showing Ambassador Jai-Ho Lee's face. "Dr. Park, Dr. Yang, the Galactic Council is waiting for your report. Do you have good news?" "Better than good," Yunji responded. "We can synthesize the bacteria artificially. Every world can grow their own with local resources. No one needs to steal Earth's Guardians." Jai-Ho's expression brightened. "How soon can you demonstrate this?" "We can begin small-scale tests immediately," Jin-Woo said. "The synthesis process is relatively simple once you understand the basic principles." "Send me the full data," Jai-Ho requested. "I'll present it to the council right away." After the communication ended, Jin-Woo and Yunji began preparing their test samples. The synthetic bacteria glowed with the same soft blue light as the originals, forming similar patterns. "Look at this," Yunji said suddenly. She pointed to unexpected formations in the test chamber. The synthetic bacteria were creating new structures, just like the Guardians did. They're not just copies, Jinwoo realized. They're learning and evolving, but in a controlled way. Each world could develop its own unique strain adapted to local conditions. The laboratory sensors detected movement in the ocean outside. The original Guardian bacteria had gathered near the station's windows, their patterns matching those of the synthetic versions inside. "They're acknowledging our work," Yunji said softly. "Maybe this was their plan all along, to teach us how to do this ourselves." Jinwoo started documenting everything for their report to the Galactic Council. "This changes everything. We're not just solving a food crisis anymore. We're helping every world develop its own sustainable ecosystem. And Earth remains the source of the knowledge," Yunji added. "We're not giving away our resources, we're teaching others how to create their own." As they worked on finalizing their discovery, the Guardian bacteria continued their light display in the dark ocean waters. Humanity had not just found a solution, they had developed something that would transform life throughout the galaxy, while protecting their own precious oceans. Ambassador Jai-Ho Lee stood before the Galactic Council in their grand meeting chamber. The massive room sparkled with the crystalline forms of representatives from 1,000 worlds. Earth's breakthrough had brought them all together for this historic moment. "The solution we present today comes not from conquest or theft," Jai-Ho began, his voice clear and strong. "It comes from understanding and cooperation with the Guardians who chose Earth's oceans as their home." Behind him, a large display showed the successful test results from Dr. Jinwoo Park and Dr. Yunji Yang's synthetic bacteria. The images of thriving crops on multiple test worlds drew murmurs of approval from the assembled representatives. "Earth does not wish to be the sole provider of these resources," Jai-Ho continued. "Instead, we offer knowledge. We will teach each world how to develop their own sustainable food systems using local materials." The Centauri representatives, still facing sanctions for their attempted theft, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Their world had already requested to be part of the first group to receive the new technology. Dr. Do-Young Kim stepped forward to present the technical details. "The synthetic bacteria can adapt to any world with basic mineral resources and water. Each planet will develop unique strains suited to their environment." The Council's chief administrator, a being of pure light, spoke. "This is more than we hoped for when we first contacted Earth. You have not only solved the immediate crisis but provided a permanent solution." "We have conditions," Jai-Ho said firmly. "Every world that receives this technology must agree to protect their oceans and water resources. The knowledge we share must be used responsibly." The display changed to show the proposed treaty. It outlined a new galactic agreement on resource sharing and environmental protection. Earth would lead a new committee focused on marine science and sustainable food production. "We accept these terms," the chief administrator announced. "Earth has proven itself a worthy member of the galactic community." As the council members signaled their agreement, the chamber's communication system activated. A live feed from Ocean Hope Station showed the Guardian bacteria forming spectacular patterns of light in the deep ocean. "They are celebrating with us," Do-Young explained to the amazed council. "The Guardians continue to teach us new things every day." After the session, Jai-Ho met with representatives from the first group of worlds scheduled to receive the technology. Among them was a young diplomat from the Centauri system. "We apologize for our previous actions," the Centauri representative said. "We now understand that patience and cooperation achieve more than desperate measures." Jai-Ho nodded in acceptance. "The crisis taught us all important lessons. Earth's oceans hold many secrets, but they must be discovered through respect and understanding." Back at Ocean Hope Station, the research team received news of the treaty signing. Director Hai-Jin Kwan gathered everyone in the main observation room, where they could see the Guardian bacteria dancing in the dark waters. "Today marks a new chapter," she announced. "Earth is no longer just another world among many. We are now teachers, guardians ourselves of knowledge that will help all species thrive." The station's screens lit up with messages from worlds already preparing to implement the new technology. Humanity's understanding of marine ecosystems, combined with their willingness to share knowledge rather than hoard resources, had changed their place in the galaxy forever. 5 years had passed since Earth shared its deep-sea knowledge with the galaxy. Director Soo-hyun Choi walked through the gleaming halls of the new Galactic Marine Science Academy in Seoul. The morning sunlight streamed through the enormous windows, illuminating displays showing thriving oceanic research programs on hundreds of worlds. Students from across the galaxy filled the academy's corridors. Some floated in special water chambers, others walked on mechanical legs, but all shared the same purpose: learning Earth's marine sciences. Director Choi called a familiar voice. Dr. Do-Yum Kim, now Chief of Galactic Research, approached with a group of alien scientists. The latest reports from the Centauri system are remarkable. Soo-hyun smiled as she reviewed the data on her tablet. The once struggling Centauri worlds now produced enough food for their entire sector, using synthetic bacteria adapted to their oceans. Their water conservation programs are also exceeding expectations, Do-Young added. They've become one of our most dedicated students. They walked together to the Academy's central chamber, where a piece of the original Ocean Hope station was displayed. Inside the reinforced tank, descendants of the first guardian bacteria continued their mesmerizing light patterns. Sometimes I still can't believe how much has changed, Soo-hyun said, watching alien and human students studying the bacterial displays. 5 years ago, we barely knew about life beyond Earth. The Academy's announcement system activated. Attention all students. Today's deep-sea simulation training will begin in 30 minutes. Please proceed to your assigned chambers. In the massive simulation room, reproduction of Earth's various ocean environments allowed students to experience different marine conditions firsthand. Advanced technology created perfect copies of deep-sea pressure, temperature, and chemical compositions. Ambassador Lee is arriving today, Do-Young mentioned as they observed the preparations. He's bringing representatives from 10 new worlds interested in joining our program. Jae-ho Lee had become a respected figure in galactic politics. His handling of the crisis and the subsequent sharing of Earth's knowledge had earned humanity a permanent place on the Galactic Council's leadership board. The Academy sensors detected movement in the display tank. The guardian bacteria had formed into an image of the galaxy, with bright points showing every world that had successfully developed its own marine cultivation program. They're still teaching us, Do-Young said softly. Every day we discover something new about them, about our oceans, about life itself. A group of students gathered around Dr. Jin-Moo Park as he demonstrated the latest improvements to the synthetic bacteria production process. His work with Dr. Yen Jae-yang had earned them galactic recognition, but they chose to stay at the Academy, teaching the next generation. The true power of the oceans isn't in what we can take from them, Soo-hyun told a nearby group of students. It's in what they can teach us about living in harmony with nature. The Academy's achievements were displayed on the walls. Images of restored ecosystems, thriving underwater cities, and new species of beneficial bacteria developed through careful research and cooperation. Earth had not just solved a crisis, it had started a revolution in how intelligent species lived with their environments. As the day drew to a close, Soo-hyun stood at the Academy's observation deck, watching the sunset over the Pacific Ocean. Ships from dozens of worlds moved across the sky, bringing more students eager to learn Earth's ocean wisdom. In the waters below, the natural guardian bacteria continued their ancient dance, no longer alone in their mission. Thanks to humanity's respect for their oceans and willingness to share knowledge, the galaxy had entered a new age of abundance and understanding. The future had arrived, and it began in the deep seas of Earth.